Hey everyone, Mark the Movie Man here, and fun movie to talk about today as part of our Review-a-palooza. This is another horror film that puts a little bit of a different twist on a common genre. Here we have Dooba. I love the title of Dooba, brought to us from director Erland Hollingsworth. And we have the story of Amna, who is going out for a babysitting job out to this remote area. It's a bit of an unusual family and unusual circumstances. The girl that Amna's babysitting, Monroe, suffered a very traumatic experience in her life recently involving the death of her brother. She's kind of, sequesters herself to her room a lot, and the parents say she's not going to be a lot of trouble. She'll probably be up there a lot, but she does get worried. So when you're walking around the house while she's in her room, you have to say Dooba. I love the use of that. So Amna thinks this is going to be a pretty cakewalk of a babysitting job. Well, when she meets Monroe, she realizes she's going to have her hands full. At first, Monroe seems like just, your average kid, but as the night goes on, things get darker, more bizarre, and a little bit violent. And soon Amna finds this is going to be definitely a night filled with tension and make her realize that maybe she doesn't need the money for babysitting. And that's where I want to leave it. I don't want to spoil too much in here. Dooba is one of those different takes on, say, the found footage film. I guess you could call it found footage on this, but it's hard because the way they shot this film was all from static security cameras. And you may be wondering, well, how do you keep that interesting? Well, Hollingsworth manages to keep things very visually interesting. Different camera angles, cameras throughout the house. It's explained why it's due to the event that happened to Monroe. And so, yeah, they do an excellent job of setting up why there's all these cameras there. And once you get over that hump with me, especially with found footage type films, then I'm in. I'm like, okay. And I found the story very interesting and very creepy. Now, Amna is played by Amna Vega. I thought she did a fantastic job in here. She actually does quite a bit of work in here. There's another aspect of this character that shows up, and yeah, she just does so well. I really enjoyed her down-to-earthness with this character, how she doesn't make really like those normal horror film dumb decisions. Seeing her trying to connect with Monroe and learn about her and maybe, help Monroe just have a normal, almost girls' night out, a night in, I should say. So yeah, Monroe is played by Betsy Sly, and I thought, wow, just definitely a character with some dark layers to her. Her performance especially, a lot of things as far as the scarier moments and such hinge on her and her behavior. And I thought she really did well. And I love the scenes. There's a great scene in there at a kitchen table between Amna and Monroe, which I thought was particularly great because it's just dialogue, but it's just the questions and such. The way Monroe's talking, there's this tension that builds in that scene that was just, yeah, it was really great. Then we have in here Taylor, who's played by Aaron O'Mara, and Winston Haynes playing Wilson, the parents. And those are two characters who very unique, to say the least. It's hard to describe them. You're not sure if they're creepy or if they're just odd or just what, and they're very frank and very forthcoming and just an interesting pair. These two really play off each other, and you feel like they're a husband-wife pairing that have been around for a while, and something slightly off with them, but yeah, it's exactly how you want these characters. And then there's Billy Hulsey, who plays Roosevelt, who he doesn't get a whole lot of scenes, but oh man, the scenes Billy does get. Whew. Yeah, this is another found footage, security camera type a film that actually pulled me in, kept me there. I found it very interesting. I liked a lot of the twists that came with the story. And yeah, it ends with a very interesting ending that had me thinking about it for a little while. So Dooba, not only a great name, but also a very interesting horror film that I think should be seen. Don't forget to check out my interview with the director. It's on this channel. I'll also put the link down in the body description of this video, where we get to talk about where the name Dooba came from, as well as some other aspects in making this film. I was very entertained, and I think you will be too, especially if you're a fan of this genre. So thank you for the view. I appreciate every single one of you, and until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub.